Hi, Charlie here. Today we're going to talk about the non-prosecution affidavit. And what that is it's a document written by the complaining witness, okay, which is another term for victim, okay, because a prosecutor will call them victims, defense attorneys, we call them complaining witness. So a non-prosecution affidavit is a document written by the complaining witness that tells the prosecutor what the complaining witness wants to happen on the case. Now, the prosecutor will take this into consideration. We'll take the non-prosecution affidavit and use it to try to figure out what they want to do on the case. But it's very important to know that these non-prosecution affidavits don't make the case go away. Okay? All they really do is tell the prosecutor what the complaining witness wants to have happen. Now, the prosecutor will likely, through their office or maybe themselves personally, contact by phone the complaining witness to sort of confirm this information, okay? Because they're not necessarily just going to trust a piece of paper given to them, because who knows, maybe it's forged or maybe something's changed since they wrote the non-prosecution affidavit. So the prosecutor's office, they'll look at the document and then they will certainly follow up and make sure it's legitimate and it's still what the complaining witness wants to happen. Now, there is no official format for the document. In the description notes, I'll put a link to our webpage with some sample ones so you can use. But I mean, honestly, a non-prosecution affidavit can be written on a napkin. Okay, it doesn't really matter as long as it's legitimate and it communicates what the complaining witness wants. Of course, it's looks more legitimate if it's typed out and signed and notarized. Okay, however, it doesn't have to be notarized. Okay, so and honestly, these things can be an email as well. But as you can imagine, it's trickier for the prosecutor to know whether the email was actually written by the complaining witness. So there's those types of issues. So a notarized document, because the identification of the complaining witness will be checked, the prosecutor will be confident that it was written by that person. Now, it's very important to know it is a crime to pressure somebody into writing a non-prosecution affidavit. Okay, so no one can bully someone into writing this. That's a completely separate crime. In Texas, in fact, it's a felony. It's called tampering with a witness. All right, so what a non-prosecution affidavit should include? Well, the most important thing is it should include the name and contact information for the person who is writing the affidavit, the complaining witness, which will be used, likely the prosecutor, to call that person and make sure everything's still legitimate. The affidavit will include whether the complaining witness wants the case to be prosecuted at all, and whether this complaining witness wants to testify at a trial if there is a trial. And then anything else the complaining witness wants the prosecutor to know. Now, that could be events that happened before the incident or after, or circumstances. Anyway, it's up to the complaining witness what they want to write in this affidavit. Now, what to do with it, okay, ideally you're giving it to a defense attorney, and the defense attorney can present it to the prosecutors themselves. Or you can, of course, give it directly to the prosecutor, whether it's the county attorney or district attorney, wherever you are. Now, how valuable is it? Now, this is important. It can be very helpful, or it might not be worth much at all. Okay. Now, from doing this forever, all defense attorneys, we talk to people who will say, so-and-so wrote a non-prosecution affidavit, so the case should go away. And it just doesn't work like that. Prosecutors aren't obligated to dismiss a case just because they receive a non-prosecution affidavit. In the way to understand that is, it's in a criminal case, it's not the complaining witness suing the defendant, okay? It's the state of wherever state or county you're in suing the defendant. So while the complaining witness has influence over what happened, they don't have total control over what happens. So now the other thing to note, though, is as a defense attorney, we would always prefer to have a non-prosecution affidavit because that will help on the case. Almost always it will help, but how much, there's no way to really know. It'll depend on the facts and the prosecutor's opinion of what they think is the right answer in this particular case. All right. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, give us a call.